And welcome to Britain for round number 12 of VSL, and I'm not by myself in the commentary box again, I'm with Jacko. Hello Jacko.
Good evening, Matthew. How are we, dear?
I think I'm okay, I'm still alive. Yourself?
Likewise, still alive. Good to be back here with you. Unfortunately, the last time it happened, we had some, let's say, technical issues. I say we, I mean you.
I did. Not with Sky Internet anymore. So
Okay.
let's just keep it that way. I am not like doing advertising. Sponsor me EE. Wait, what? I didn't say that.
I definitely heard it, and I agree with you.
Yeah. So there's only 12 drivers today, as Y Race has already lost connection. So 11 drivers. I think last week there was about 19 drivers actually. So it's a sudden drop in drivers tonight. So that doesn't mean the racing will be boring. However, in Canada, the grid was very, very spaced out. So I'm hoping we don't get another repeat of Canada. That's for sure. A couple of drivers, when I was in a lobby earlier, a lot of the drivers have been practicing from what I'm hearing. So, have you had any indication of like which driver's been practicing or?
None whatsoever. I can't say I've been in the chat today to actually pay much attention.
Right, as we've got the Mercedes mowing some grass. Off speed risky. I need to get the details up onto the screen because last time I had a bit of a bug with the game in terms of maps. Two Haas drivers seem to be approaching to start their lap, but let's ride on board with the leading Haas of ART, Kyle. So he sets his first lap, which I believe won't be a push lap. I mean, will be a banker lap as he goes through the high speed turn 1 into turn 2, flat out in these 2020 Formula cars, braking just where the curb is to turn number 3, go into Chapel, trying to put the power down as early as possible without losing the rear end, which he does. He would have lost a couple of tenths there. Open the DRS as soon as he can. As he approaches the end of Sector 1 as he goes into Brooklands, the 26.9. Of course he'll be purple because he is the first car out on track at the moment. As we approach Woodgate and approach the fast right-hander of Cops. Doing the 195 miles an hour into here. See how much speed he loses. Still doing 190, so not a bad line through there. Now one of the best corners in Formula 1. Maggots and Beckett's as it comes out of Chapel, putting the power down as early as possible. So 101.6, not a bad middle sector, but there's still time to find on this lap. So we go through Stowe. Nice and tidy through there. Now, late as you brake, just before where the curve appears on your right hand side left to the right, avoid the curves that could unsettle the rear end. So we go through the final corner, and that is a 124.8 from the Haas driver. That's an actually nice respectable lap there from the Haas driver, to be honest with you, because me personally, I was practicing early doing 24.3s, and for a first lap, it's a nice lap there from the Haas driver, actually, to be honest with you.
It ain't bad, is it?
No.
First out in qualifying and also championship leader is Kyle. He leads the championship by 3 points over Flexi, and Flexi himself has a 19-point lead over ILRT Matter, who himself has an 11-point lead over Brander. So they're the top 4 at this halfway point in the season who are fighting for the championship. Everyone else is just here for the fun of it.
Yeah.
But a good opening for qualifying for Kyle.
Indeed. We're on board with the Sauber of Flexi at the moment. He did a first sector of a 27.1. Interestingly, he's on the medium compound of tyre, which will likely work with there only being 12 drivers. He's likely to get a lap in on the medium tyre, but it's usually a one-stop round here because the pit lane you lose about 30 seconds with it being slow, and I think it's quite a long pit stop here at Silverstone.
Yeah, I think it's the longest on the calendar. If I'm very much mistaken.
Yeah, okay, it misses out the couple of corners, but the 37 miles per hour speed limit sort of, well, it's longer, let's just say that.
It's horrible.
So we've got the Salvo Flexi, who's a second down on the pole sitters. Kyle Time, his championship rival. This comes across the lines for 25.8. So yes, that's almost a second down. I mean, just under a second down on the Haas driver.
On the mediums, though, it's worth noting, as we got a spinner in turn between turn 2 and 3, Flexi just avoids him.
Was that the Williams?
I'm not sure who that was.
It's the Williams of Matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like if you turn in a bit too early, it's like a little bump on the curb. It unsettles the rear, and because you're going that fast, you try to correct it, and that's it. You're gone. So I'm curious if there is any wet weather due for the race, because that could make turn 1 into 2 quite a dangerous corner. I mean, it's particularly in these Formula 1 cars, so it's stupidly quick right now.
Yeah, and Massa will be hoping that's his only mistake of the evening, because he's really got to get this gap down in the championship, try and chase those top 2. Got a couple of wins this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the medium tyre, so he may have got a bit of a surprise when he found he hadn't got as much grip as the soft tyre. So maybe he sort of just realised that, but I think that's his set of medium tyres done for. He'll have to come in for a set of soft compound tyres. Unless he's doing another lap, but I don't think there's enough fuel in the car to do this. To be honest, we're looking at constructors. Haas are leading with Williams in second, Alfa Romeo in third. So between Alfa Romeo and Williams, that's an interesting fight. Haas have run away with it. But then up below, you've got Ferrari, Renault and McLaren, with Ferrari on 99 points, the Renault 97 and McLaren on 89. It's a nice little tight battle there, so wherever you look on the grid, there's someone fighting for something. I mean, there's one Ferrari and there's the McLaren, the Speed 19. So the Renault drivers, Keprowski and N8, I mean, they've always been there, they've always been attending. So that's how they've gotten to the position where they are, because they've been consistent, they've been attending, and they've got themselves out right. The other drivers has turned up, but they've got pace, so if they turned up all the time, I reckon well, of course the constructors would be a bit more competitive. I mean, Haas would be leading because Kyle and I've forgotten how to say his name, Lezane. Brandon, that's it. I just call him Lezane because it's just the name on the board. But I lied about Matter actually. He's on a lap at the moment. He's doing another run, but those medium tyres will be running out of grip towards the end of the lap after the spin he had on his first flying lap.
Just wants to get a sighter in, doesn't he? But going back to what you're saying about the Renault drivers, they're consistently in that sort of bottom half of the top 10, always getting the points. That's why they're doing so well in the constructors. Of course, a good chunk of those points come from Kev's win a few races ago.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was now. Was it China?
I'm looking at the standing. Kevrowski's win was at Spain.
Spain, sorry. Okay.
I only know that because
they're there or thereabouts all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I only knew that because I've got the standings right in front of me on my tablet. So. I believe ART Kyle's on another lap. He's 1/10 down on his first sector. Try and find
Kyle,
the
by the way, he seems to be leading every championship that he's racing in. He's the leader in TGP1, racing on Tuesdays. He's the leader in VSL tonight, and he's also the leader in Jakarta on Thursday nights. So he's just got the hang of this game so well.
Oh, aye, indeed. He's not a slow driver at all.
Oh no.
And he's only 600ths down on his middle sector. Will this Williams in front get out of the way? I think the dirty air might have upset him a bit here. This Matter goes into the pits as we go through the last corners. Vale and Club. He's lost the rear and that's his lap time over. It's not an improvement. Oh, actually it is an improvement. Sorry about that, but only by 400ths. But it's Formula 1. 400ths is like a tenth, and then a tenth is like a second in Formula 1. If that's a good comparison. Yellow flag in sector 3, and the Mercedes, I think, has tried to warm his tyres up and he's gone into the grass down the hangar straight.
Yeah, still some bits of grass on his tyres there. Comes around to begin his lap, speed risky.
Let's ride on board with the Mercedes driver of Speed Risky. It's going through Abbey. How's the rear end looking on that Mercedes? Looking planted as always, braking just before the curb appears on the left hand side. Start turning in at the 50-metre board. So you have to try and put the power down as early as you can. It's sort of, you just have to get a feel for that. I still struggle myself after doing a corner many times. So we go down into Brooklands. He's actually purple in sector 1 by 400.
Interesting. He's not a slow driver.
No, it's good.
He is a lot better over a single flying lap than he is over a race distance. He's prone to the odd spin, the odd mistake, a bit of contact here and there. But don't get me wrong, he's a very good driver.
Reminds me of my younger days. To be honest with you. I used to be rapid in qualifying. This was back on F1 2013. Rapid in qualifying, but when it came to the race, I think I pushed the car too much. Because you sort of got the mindset of the qualifying braking lines, and when it goes to the race,
Risky's invalidated, by the way.
He was. It's a shame really, because he was purple. But what I was going back to what I was saying is, because I was practice qualifying so much and so little the race, I was quick in qualifying, raising eyebrows, and in the race I just dropped back. So yes, Risky's got pace.
Something that in my younger days I've never had at all.
but
here we are.
But the thing is, I had nothing else better to do when I was younger, but now I have responsibilities and I just don't have as much time anymore. That's life, I'm afraid.
Indeed. So you start to see this changing of the guard, these younger drivers coming through, people like Kyle, people like Iceman, finding pace, and then the older names that you become used to over a few years, they start to disappear or fade away down the grid. Risky's invalidated is in that as well.
Yeah, I would have thought Risky's lap would have been invalidated after going wide at the last corner, because usually the game stops you from completing the next lap because it thinks you're gaining an advantage.
Yeah.
It's got the Haas of Kyle going on that lap, keeping out the way of the Ferrari, who's last place at the moment, but I must say I don't think he's had any practice.
He turns up every week. He's not the fastest driver, but he turns up, he gets the occasional points finish, he's a good driver.
Oh, wow. Right on board of Williams of Matter is 2/10 up in sector 1. This starts to approach the sector 2. There's many different lines you can take there at Abbey. I think it's Abbey. Yes, it is Abbey as we go into Woodcut. As we approach Cops. If you're at if you ever go to Silverstone, you want to be at this corner here or Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh, invalidation.
I think he may have just kept within the track limits, you know.
Track's gone red on my screen, but he is still pushing, so it might just be a game glitch. Matter comes to the end of sector 2. I don't know if it's looking fast.
He's 6/10 up.
Is he?
In the middle sector.
Definitely have a game glitch then.
Whereas he's put now as he goes in and he's going to the pits, you must have been right. But
yeah,
that is a warning sign to Kyle that there is a driver out there. If he can get the lap together, you have to bear in mind Matter's lap was on the medium compound of tyre, his current lap. So the Red Bull is speed, New Gadding pops in a 1:26.0. Quickest out of the Red Bull drivers at the moment as Waze joins the session to become our 13th driver of the session. Welcome back, Waze.
That was a quick recovery. He said a couple of minutes ago in the chat that his PlayStation was too hot and it actually shut down on him, so I wonder if Waze can actually keep his PlayStation cool enough to participate in the race. He won't get a chance in qualifying.
Waze too hot for his PlayStation, like.
Well, if you know anything about Waze, everything about him is hot.
Oh,
and I won't say any more.
No. I mean, that made me biased. But I've known Waze for since I first started getting into league racing, so it's sort of cool to still be around Is J Luke joined now? Oh, that's great. To be honest with you, Waze on his day, he's not a slow driver.
He's not. He's very, a bit like Risky. He's very good over a single flying lap, but the consistency within the race just lacks it.
Yeah. Kyle is coming out of the middle sector. He's just under 2/10 up on his current lap, but it's not quicker than matters before his lap got invalidated, so that's a warning sign to Kyle. Kyle needs to get this lap in. Braking just before the curb appears, just after the 100 metre board. It's right, just avoiding the curbs. It's trying to put the power down. What's it do? It's a 124.827, 200 up. It's an improvement, but it's not dramatic.
We know Massa can go quicker than that, so hopefully he gets that one more lap in. I think that's the end of Kyle's qualifying. Unless he's put enough in the fuel tank for one more go on this set of tyres.
But would he want to go out on the set of tyres and run the risk of having a lap?
With it being a one-stop. Look at the top 6, all of them, apart from Kyle, out on that outlap currently. Yeah. As is Massa.
Riding on board with Waze in the AlphaTauri. He's managed to get into the qualifying session with no hands. So, GG's Codemasters, if you ride on board with Waze, does he have hands for you?
I'm just currently inviting J-Luke back to the session, and I'll have a look for you.
Okay, but on my screen he has no hands.
Okay, Waze doesn't need hands.
Waze is that skillful, he drives a car without hands.
Let's have a look. Waze has no hands, I can confirm.
Whilst Waze drives with no hands, let's ride on board with the potential pole sitter of Matter. No pressure, Matter, as a ride on board as you going through Abbey.
Ahmed spinning at the exit of Cops, by the way, Matt. Sorry to interrupt there.
Alright,
he's invalidated his lap. He'll stay out of the way. Of Pete, I think that is.
Yes, thanks for letting me know. Nice and tidy through Sector 1 for Matter so far, opening the DRS. Using that Mercedes engines in that Draggy Williams. 2/10 up in Sector 1. As we go into Brooklands and Luffields, we head out to Woodcut. Nice out onto the power there. Now it's just a longer way to straight. Hold your breath as you go into Cops. Very, if it was real Formula 1, a very physically demanding track this is. It's Hulkenberg. Renounced on his return to Formula 1. Now to Maggots, Beckett's into Chapel. He's been a bit cautious through here because he's been getting invalidated laps, but that looks nice and tidy. 8/10 up in the middle sector. Kyle will be sweating right now. All Matt needs to do is keep the car together. Doesn't even have to set a purple last sector, just keep the car on the track. Don't do anything reckless. Speed Knighton does a 24/7 provisional pole as Matter comes across the line only just by 200ths of a second. A 124.735.
Brandon goes quicker.
Brandon. There's a 124.714.
Who else is out there that can top this? Iceman? He's coming up to the line now.
He's paired from the middle sector.
No.
I think his lap got invalidated. Looking at that, Kev Rusky ending his lap, but it looks like it's an invalidation, and that looks like that's qualifying over. Waze comes across the line 127.3. To be fair, that's his first lap, so that's sort of a sighter lap for him. But if he keeps out of trouble,
is J-Luke on a lap still? He managed to get into the lobby, or is this just an outlap?
This might be an outlap.
Yeah, I think that was just an installation just to learn the track.
Yeah, as handless J-Luke and handless Waze come into the pits. Wow. Would you believe that gap? I don't think I was expecting a gap like that. I was expecting Matter to get pole there. But Kyle, who was like topping the times every time he set a lap, down in P4. And one thing's for sure, Knighton is a good starter, and if Kyle has another terrible start like he did in Austria, that is not really the position Kyle wants to be in. You got the other champ, you got the championship contender Flexi down in P10. However, I think that was on the medium compounded tyres.
Yeah, I was just going to point out to you in there, two outstanding performances. Pete did so well to get himself in amongst the championship leaders, and also young little Ahmed, P5 in the Renault. That's a good lap. But that top 9, all within a second of each other.
That's incredible. So,
yeah, and I feel like Flexi could have gone faster as well.
Oh, definitely. But just looking at the gaps, second 200s, third 400s off, and then Kyle a 10th off. You know, the top 3 covered under 500ths of a second. Would you believe that?
It's bloody close, that's what I'll say. Meanwhile, in the chat, Flexi's asking if he can go back onto FIFA yet, so clearly not happy with his qualifying. But he is on the mediums, so he's playing the long game, but of course he'll have to start on those.
Yeah, so it's Brandon on pole, with Matt in P2, the McLaren R-Speed 19 in P3. Kyle, I think, will be disappointed with 4th, to be honest with you.
I think he will.
He's still there or thereabouts if he keeps out of trouble. The Renault of N8, Iceman in 6th, Risky, Y-Racer, Kev Risky, and Flexi rounds up the top 10.
Yeah, and of course, how many times have we said it before, that the race is not won in qualifying? Certainly not at Silverstone. Monaco perhaps, but Silverstone, it's all about your race pace and keeping it together and on track for the duration. Maybe penalties might even play a part, so Kyle, he's far from out of this.
Oh, aye. Right, as we have a 2 meter, not COVID, Matthew, a 2-minute break before the race starts. Hopefully everyone remembers the 2-minute rule. Hope so, anyway. As Jacko, you've left the session. I believe we've lost Jack from the commentary box, unfortunately. Right, I just give us a couple of seconds as I invite him back to the party. So it's not me with the technical issues today. He has completely gone offline. So I'll send him an invite and he'll rejoin the session when he comes back. J-Lick lost connection as well, but I'm pretty sure he can rejoin, which he has. Jacko will be back with us soon. So if it's not me, it's him. So no idea what happened there on his behalf. So who's everyone's money on winning the race today? Right. It's nice to know that everyone's remembered the 2-minute rule. Oh god, I can hear myself on the stream. I'm just making sure the stream's working all okay. Jacko rejoined. I sent him an invite to the party, so he should be back. Interesting. I really don't know who's going to win this race, because I was thinking during qualifying on I said last race that Kyle was going to win. Our last week's race winner is not with us today, as Jacko rejoined us in the commentary box. Nice to have you back.
I do apologise, but that is Sky Internet for you. 65 megabits and it still goes down.
And it drops out.
I don't think I've missed anything, have I?
You have not missed anything. But
beautiful.
That was the issues I was having with Sky Internet. It was quick and then it'll just drop out.
Yep.
But I'm now with EE and it's been sound. Touch wood.
Still hoping for that sponsorship. That's the second time you mentioned that tonight.
Please help me. Help me, please. Still living at home, like. But apparently my local town is now a hotspot, so we'll be having a lockdown soon. Which is fun. But nevertheless, it is race time. It is the VSL Silverstone Grand Prix. Who do you think's going to win the race?
My money is going on Mata, I would say.
Mata? Interesting. Me, personally, I'm going to go with Brandon.
Okay.
Because him in the race, when he's on it, he's rapid.
When is the key word in that sentence?
When he's rapid. But he's on pole position.
Yes.
I think last time when he was on pole position, was it the Netherlands, I think? And he had a bad start but went on to win the race after I had a good start, took the lead into turn 1, and then my car became a boat and I clipped the curb and, believe it or not, went into the barrier sideways, like the car was on its side, and that was my last race for Racing Point.
Okay, it sounds like you had a similar race to me, because on the second safety car restart I accidentally left the ERS on in the final corner as people were accelerating under green, and lost the car in that final turn on the bank and hit the inside wall and DNF'd on that one.
Yes, that is literally what happened to me. I just forgot about ERS because I was so focused, right, on getting a good exit out of that corner, completely forgot I'd overtake on. And that didn't end well, as Mata is getting ready to overtake Brandon in the race, just letting him know he's there.
Yeah. As his head.
Yeah, 14 drivers, which is not good, but not bad. But F1 2020 game, it's sort of cut people's interest into the game, to be honest with you, as that's the most pointless predicted pit strategy. That apparently, if you want to go into the medium tyres, you pit on lap 13. If you want to pit for the hard tyre, you pit on lap 13. What's the point in that? You'd go for the medium tyre. However, it's known in VSL people should just go for the hard tyre, because the hard tyre seems to be a favoured race tyre on VSL, it seems.
Yeah, it's a viable race tyre on this game as well. Matt, I'm just looking at J-Luke down in P14, obviously didn't get a lap in, joined late. It should be quite interesting to see what he can do from the back of the grid. Very fast driver, faster than Pete, and with the same kind of level as Kyle in terms of pace, if you're going to compare it to TGP and Jacko Car. So
he's a
can
ghost.
he fight his way through the field?
I mean, he is a ghost car on my screen, so is he actually in the lobby?
Good question.
It's nice to know that he's growing his limbs back, so he's got hands.
As does Waze.
Oh, I indeed. All eyes are now on those 5 red lights as our cars are lined up on the grid. So who's going to win this race here? My bet on Brandon, the leading Haas driver. But Kyle would be wanting a couple of favours from Brandon if he wants to put more of a hold on his championship lead.
Both of them still in the hunt for the championship, and it's only halfway through the season as well. Let's not forget about that. First, second, 4th and 10th are your championship contenders, as I leave it over to you for the start. Mr. Red Matt, that's if we get a start.
Thank you very much. As the lights are getting ready to go out, it seems we're waiting for the last 4 drivers, as the lobby bugged out here because the drivers are not moving unless J-Luke needs to get into his car, because maybe it's bugged out. Apparently we're on lap 2 of 26. The lights are yet to go out.
Yeah, this did happen to us the other day in Jacko Car after the formation lap. There are some communications coming from the chat now saying the lobby is broke. So I do believe we'll end up with a restart here. Keep an eye on the drivers and their tyres.
That, I believe, is J-Luke's fault, because he joined mid-formation lap, and of course it's confused the game. Because I think that's a known bug, when someone joins during the formation lap.
he's joking in the Twitter chat now, saying that you're welcome.
Light.
Kiss face emoji.
Oh dear. Well, luckily I don't have university till 1 in the afternoon tomorrow, so I don't have to go to bed early. I mean, I won't be, because I'll probably play my new horror game tonight, but yeah, so we have to remember on the stream the grid, as the grid will be manually set, I presume, unless J-Luke leaves the lobby, which it will fix itself possibly. Is he in the lobby right now?
He is, yeah. Migrating host. So yeah, we will be going to a new lobby. Please move on to the lobby host.
You can start commentate game crash.